Hi, my friends. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you're all well. Today I thought we'd do a tissue paper collage. And that's how we refer to as mixed media. We're going to use some acrylic paints, some Liquitex violet and turquoise, some inexpensive craft paint, probably yellow, pink, and maybe purple, maybe blue, maybe green, maybe black, maybe orange. We're going to use some tissue paper, just inexpensive tissue paper you find at the dollar store, some modeling paste. Some people refer to it as molding paste. Going to need micron pen. I use a 01. You could use a 03. And some brushes, and that's about it. So let's just get started. What we're going to do is just paint on with our acrylic paints basically a background. Now, keeping in mind where we're going to put the flowers and where we're going to draw in flowers. Now I'm going to draw in a flower here and probably down here. So I don't want my background to be too dark because the black ink will just not show up. So just keep that in mind. A little bit of this turquoise. I said a little bit. Sometimes I just don't listen to myself. Okay. Now I'm also going to do the edge of our cradle board here. This is just a small, I think it's probably 6 by 6 or around that. With probably a 1-inch edge. Which works out nicely if we want to draw over the edge, which I will be doing. Some of our tissue can come over the edge also. I can finish off the edges after we finish our little painting here. Okay, I'll finish that later. All right, let's bring in a little bit of pink. Not being too fussy about cleaning my brush between colors because, as I said, we're just doing a background here. And I'm going to use yellow, so I do need to clean this brush a little bit. The yellow will just get lost. And turn into green. That's okay. That's okay. I forgive my mistakes. I'm not into beating myself up too much. Okay. Going to add a little bit more of this violet because it makes a really nice background. So I want it to somewhat dominate. Okay, that'll do. Now I'm going to take a minute to dry that. Just use your blow dryer and dry it off. As you know, as you may well know, acrylic paint dries pretty fast. So I'm going to finish my edges and dry my paint, and then we'll come back and do the tissue. Okay, so our paint is nice and dry, and I've done my edges. So now I'm just going to come in with some tissue paper. It's just cheap tissue paper that you find, you can get it at the dollar store. And just trying to find the right brush for gluing. I'm just using Mod Podge. You can use a gloss medium. Use whatever turns your crank. Just put this on. A little glue on the bottom. If it folds over like that, great. It just gives it texture. Bring it over the edge. Or not. No worries. No fussing. And just keep going with your tissue. Use some yellow here. I try not to get any sharp edges, you know, or straight lines, I guess you would say. And I like to overlap, and I like to put it on the edges. Now I'm using a gloss Mod Podge. You can use a matte if you choose. We're going to finish this with a couple sprays of Kamar varnish, and then I finish again with a little more Mod Podge on top of that. Now it's up to you. I like the shiny look, and other people don't. So whatever turns your crank. And as I said, don't worry if you get some crumpled up paper. It just gives it texture. All the better. Now I'm going to be leaving some space here in the middle, just to give it more of a sense of depth. Come in with some pink tissue. So this tissue collaging, I've been collaging for almost a year now, I think. A little bit of green. Now you can buy tissue, you can make your own tissue, buy some white and paint it, which is what this green is. It's white tissue that I painted green. You can paint it green and put some designs on it if you choose. Now, I'm going to be putting leaves on this, so I don't want too much green, because I'll make my leaves green. So I'm going to be aware of that when I lay down my tissues. Okay, now I want some blue right here. Okay, a little bit more here. Purple, I think. Now here I'm sticking with pretty well pink, purple, blue, green, and yellow. So I've chosen 5 colors. Coming over the edge again. All right. Now I'm going to lay down the rest of my tissue paper. Again, keeping in mind that I'm going to be using molding paste and draw some white flowers, small white flowers, and I'm going to use my pen, my Micron 01 pen. You could use a 03, depending on how thick you want your leaves. And I'm going to draw a flower probably here, a significant black flower here, and one down here. So I'm probably going to make this a little bit lighter too, so that my black flowers stand out. So I'm going to finish that, and then we'll come back and do our flowers. Okay, so I have my piece all dried, and as you can see, I came in and if I didn't have enough coming over the edge, I added a little bit more. Now we're going to come in with our modeling paste and draw in some little white flowers. Now since this is a small piece, I don't want the flowers to be too big. So, and I'm thinking I'm going to draw in a flower here and down here. So I'm going to add my little flowers here. 5 petals. And maybe 2 here and 1 over here, just to try to keep some balance here. Now you can add this modeling paste as thick as you like. And once you're done, if you want it a little bit thicker, just add a little bit more. I like a little bit of texture in my work, so I'm adding a little bit more. And you might notice where I just have the paint here and I have the tissue around it, it gives it a little bit of a sense of depth, so your eye goes in toward where it's just painted. Okay, now I'm going to be drawing a flower here, so I think I will do this about here. I mean, you don't need to do a lot of planning ahead, you just have to think a little bit ahead before you make the next move. Now I use modeling paste, A, because I can control it, and B, because I can get a nice white flower. A little more difficult when you're trying to do that with paint. Okay, that works. I may have add a little bit more modeling paste. Yeah, I'm also interested, I'm thinking about inviting people to Patreon. So I'm just curious if people would be interested in that, being a patron. And I would offer, you know, extra videos and some giveaways and how-tos. And I'd also like to know, so yeah, if you could answer that in the comment section, or if you're shy about commenting, just send me an email. I love getting emails too. So yeah, and let me know if it's, if you, because I do a few things. I do acrylic painting a little bit. I do, you know, mostly mixed media, but also do watercolors and a bit of alcohol ink, although I haven't been doing much alcohol ink lately. So yeah, bit of work with resin, but mostly mixed media. Really loving the collage work lately. Okay, there's our flowers. Now I'm going to remember to clean your brushes as soon as you finish, because especially with the gluing, if you don't get it off soon enough, it's a mess, and make sure it ruins your brushes. So just make sure you're doing that. Yeah, so now I'm going to dry that so I don't stick my arm in it, which is what I tend to do, and then come in and do the drawing. Okay, as you can see, I've already done one flower at the top, just to save some time. And I'm going to do, and I've come along the edge here so that the flower comes over the edge. And I'm going to do the same idea. This one's just going to be a partial flower because it's coming from the edge. My center here. Continue a bit of a center on the other side. My petals. Bring my petals again to the other side. Okay, my just little squiggly lines around the edges. Little circles and semicircles in the middle. And define my petals a little more. And then some veining. And do my petals on the edge. Some small petals like at the top, like the one I've done on the top. A little bit of darkness where the petals meet. And there you have it. I just like the look of the black. in my paintings, so therefore I draw these black flowers. Okay, now I think what we need are some leaves. I'm going to use some olive green for my leaves. I have some here from another painting I did. I need some fresh paint. There we go. So don't forget to mention in the comments or through email if you're interested in being a patron. If people are interested, I will start Patreon. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and we'd really appreciate the support. Helps pay for some of the millions and trillions of dollars I spend on supplies. Okay. Now if you want your flowers a little darker, just go back, let them dry, and then, or sorry, not your flowers, your leaves. Let them dry and then come back and do them again. You can add texture here too, if you like. You know, build it up. So that's about it. What I'm going to finish this with is a couple of sprays of Kamar varnish, and then at least one layer of Mod Podge or gloss medium. I don't like too much of a shine, but it does protect the painting, and it adds a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll come back and see the finished product. Back in a flash. So here we have it, a beautiful little mixed media piece. Less than an hour. That's how it looks finished. There's a generous spray of Kamar varnish, and then 2 coats of Mod Podge or whatever you choose for a finish. I go all the way down in one direction, and then I go the other direction just to give it, to try to avoid any streaks. So yeah, so that's it for today. Don't forget in the comment section to let me know if you'd be interested in Patreon. It would probably start as low as $3 or $5 a month. And yeah, we'll go from there. If you're shy, like I said, just send me an email. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, my friends.